What's up, family? Welcome back to another episode of the Golden Ghetto podcast, where the culture receives its flowers in real life. I'm your host, Diana, and today you are in for a special treat. Now, I gotta address the elephant in the room. I know I've been MIA, and the truth is, I'm tired. Not away by you. Like, I'm really tired, but on another note, don't shoot me, just cash at me, because we need investors, and investing in yourself in the beginning is a little bit ghetto and not the golden kind. But back to business, I do want to introduce a very, very special guest, a true multi-hyphenate who is making her waves in the PR world. She is not just a PR girly though. She is an influencer, and she is letting God be her creative director. So get comfortable, relax, get your wine, and join us as we talk about her journey, the influence of the digital age, and the art of building genuine connections in the industry, because I know that is something we all want to know. So family, welcome me as I talk to Mrs. Cat. So Cat, welcome to the podcast. Girl, we've been talking about this for dummy long.
Forever. Yeah, literally.
I am so excited to have you. How are you feeling today? Talk to me.
I'm a little nervous, only because, as you know, I'm always on the other side.
You are.
So now we switch.
Yeah.
So now it's like, woo.
It's giving.
But I'm good. I'm so excited. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Love talking to you.
Yes. First of all, guys, she is a Gemini. So once I meet Gemini, I automatically I'm always in awe, because
We clicked.
We get it.
Yeah.
We get it. And sometimes the girls don't. No shade.
That's not
our problem. So yes, I want to start. I feel like people know you for what you do, but they don't know you for your story.
Okay.
Take me to the beginning. How was the childhood? What was the dream?
Yeah, it's so funny. I was just having this conversation 3 days ago with a close friend. I started wanting to be in fashion from literally as a child. I have a yearbook photo, and I'll probably send it to you if you want to throw it in.
Okay, yeah.
Yearbook, elementary school, and we had careers that we wanted to do. Was mention who you want to be, what you want to work, what you want to do. And in mine, it said fashion designer. It was meant to be. I always knew I wanted to be in fashion, but coming from a Dominican family, and especially my family's not from here, everyone's from DR. It's how do I start? Who do I talk to? Where do I go? I have nurses, doctors, police officers in my family. I have nobody in the creative field. But my grandma, she was in the creative field, and it didn't click for me as a kid, she's doing design. Yeah. She used to make bows and ship them to DR so they can put them on dresses and stuff. And I would always sit there and just watch her you make bows for a living? How? Everyone leaves their house to go to work. She was always sewing. And that kind of inspired me to want to follow through with that. But it was difficult not having the guidance, the money to go to these schools or be a creative. And it isn't considered a job in my culture, in my household. It wasn't so up until high school, I was going to be a forensic scientist. Wow. I was gonna be dissecting bodies and stuff like that. And then it was the day before having to submit your applications. And I was if I pick something else, my mom is gonna whoop my ass. She's gonna be tight. And I ended up applying to a fashion school, a private fashion school in New York, and I got in. And I didn't tell my mom till I got in. And then she was you're not going to Kansas City to study. What are you doing? And I was no, I'm going to do fashion. And ever since I made that executive decision for myself, it's been on go since. I've been started off internships. I didn't even know what internships were. Wow. I didn't even know that was a thing. But I started internships at a showroom, built up because I had that drive and that urgency behind me so early on. It was easy for me to maneuver in the industry at an early age. 17 years old, I was working for a luxury fashion house, which is what the hell? And then that easily turned into a job. And from there, I went to agencies, and now I freelance. God, thank you to God. Of course, it's all been thank you to God. But it's a lot in between, but that's the short version of the story. It did come with a lot of work. It was not easy. 1, being a girl, 2, being Dominican, 3, not having any experience in the fashion industry, any guidance, anything. I had to literally ask every single day for help, for guidance, reach out, which is why I'm like in public relations and creative projects, because I talk so much because of all that work I had to do with asking and communicating and meeting people. So yeah, that's kind of like the journey in like short form.
Wow.
Yeah.
First of all, I heard so many things. First, I heard God's plan.
Yeah.
Because it really was destined for you.
It is.
I think as a child, we know what we want to do, but then we get up and the world's like, nah, like it's just punching it out of us. And it's like, you're literally unlearning everything that you once learned growing up.
Yes.
And it's like, you know, they want us to be a robot, but you literally have to like break dance into you. And I feel like you've done that so perfectly.
Thank you.
Shout out you. Shout out the artist in the artist role. Like I'm reading the artist way right now. I'm on like chapter 3.
Okay.
And you know what, guys? Like I need to be reading it more intentionally. I've been dibbling and dabbling. Like I can't even tell you, but that's like an artist thing to do.
Yeah.
But I think that what it's really saying is like people do not take advantage of like their journey.
Yeah.
Like they think they're not worthy. Like this imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Like that's a random voice in your head that's continuously telling you like you're not good enough. Like artists, like that's not even a thing. Like, you know, and there's so many talented people that just need that self-belief. Yeah. And I think that, you know, you need that, like your grandma. You just need that one person.
Just needed to see.
Yeah. They just need to see it. And sometimes nobody's gonna see it.
Yeah, I had a conversation recently with a mysterious fashionist, shout out AJ Porter. He literally, and this was recently, this was like a couple weeks ago, changed my whole mind. And it was like, he was saying like a lot of people struggle with ego in this industry, right? Let me cook, because I want to say how he said it, but he was saying like, he was like, oh, like when you're in a room, like, do you approach people? Do you talk to people? Like all these things. And I was just like, because I was talking to him, like, you know, sometimes we need guidance. Sometimes we need to just see that one person do it and it inspires us. And I was like, no, like sometimes I really like, even though I'm in creative projects and all this stuff, sometimes like depending on where I'm at, I won't reach out. I won't go up to people. I was like, I don't really want to bother people. Like, you know, I just kind of want to keep to myself. He was like, that's the ego thing. Like, you don't want to get rejected. He was like, you don't want, and what he said, that was like, how is that an ego thing on my behalf? Like, what are you talking? He was like, it's an ego thing. You should be able to take a no. You should be able to also, like, you go up to people and they're like, hi, nice to meet you, and like keep it like that. Like, you shouldn't have this mentality where like people should be giving you handouts and all these things. And ever since he told me that, it reminded me of my whole journey. I've been told so many no's. Still to this day, there's so many no's being told that it just makes the yes so much better. That it's just like, it is an ego thing at the end of the day, you know? Like, it's like you have to just not care and put yourself out there. And like, God will open doors for you, but you got to put in that work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, once all that clicked, I was like, yo, this is why my journey has been so intense and so crazy, but intentional. Of course, you know, like, so it's definitely something that I carry with me now. So shout out to him, because I needed to hear that.
Yes, so did I, girl. And I feel like I needed to hear that in the beginning of my journey. I think when you're a star and you already know like you're destined for greatness, sometimes your ego will allow you to think that you deserve blessings before you've been fully cooked. You know?
Ooh.
Yeah. Because I started out and it's like, I knew I was going to be a podcaster, but I was like, I deserve to be on Culture Con. Not having I had no gold stars on my plate. Like, you know, you gotta literally like...
You gotta build that up.
You gotta build that up. And I think our ego will let us become big-headed and like think that we deserve the blessing before we already made it. And I wanted to work with some people. And before that, I really had I just had the vision, but I feel like I was just pitching everybody the vision. And it was a no, but I'm so grateful for that no, because like in this season of my life, I see the people that said no come back, but come back in the divine time and not coming back because like they didn't see it at first. Well, actually, they probably didn't see it at first.
It could be either or, you know? It really could be. You really never know. But
yeah, but I think that it's okay not to see it at first, because you have to believe in you first.
Yes.
And then allow others to believe in you. And it's like your ego has to be in check because sometimes you aren't there yet.
But even if other people don't believe in you, you still gotta believe in your own vision and still gotta follow through.
Yes.
Because it's like the no's, I appreciate the no's. Because it's like, not that you don't believe in me. Sometimes it's just a no because it's just a no. Sometimes it doesn't align. Sometimes people don't believe in it. And you still following through with your vision, although you've been told no, that's 10 gold stars for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's you still believing in yourself. And at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have that confidence within yourself, if you don't literally just believe in your ideas and what you can and cannot do, no one else is going to do that for you. Literally nobody else. So it's really just about keeping that in mind, keeping that in check. 10, 15 people in a room could be like, I don't like this idea. Like, I don't believe in it. You still following through with it, that's much better than getting that yes. I feel like because you building that relationship with yourself, and that's what's going to make you like a better creative, a better professional, just a better person overall because of that relationship you have with yourself as a creative, as just a human being.
Yes.
So those no's literally drive me. I love getting a no. I'd be like, no? Okay, watch this. Watch this.
I bet.
Watch this.
Or even it gives like no's give not right now sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that our ideas are our currency, especially as creative. That's not from me. That's from Gabriel Moss's. I was watching live, and he was like, a person that came on live, and she was like, I have no money right now. She was like, I'm an artist. She was like, what advice would you give me? And he was like, invest in your ideas. Like, as an artist, the best thing you could do is make your ideas your currency. Because they might not see, like, they're never going to see it in the beginning, but it's not meant. Sometimes dirt just looks like dirt. You don't know that there's a seed underneath the dirt.
Yeah.
You just gotta watch. You gotta water. You gotta watch it go. But if you're not watering, it's gonna die. My plants die all the time.
That's literally it. Another thing too is like, which now I correlate everything back to God. Like, I keep that, that intention with God through everything that I do. So, God always talks about patience and your season and like really understanding that your journey is what's most important. And I think like I'm so content and so happy with like everything that I'm going through. Like now as a creative, the no's, the yes, the opportunities, the missed opportunities, like all that stuff is like what's most important. Because then once you make it to the top, it's like, it's kind of hard to navigate it once you're rich and you got millions in this. I've heard too many stories about, people doing the wrong things with their money, people, giving up, other people controlling and buying their businesses. This journey that we're on now, building up there is like what we need to appreciate so much more. So I'm like basking in this era of my life where my podcast, I make mistakes, where on creative projects, I mess up. Like all that learning process is like what I'm taking with me. And like, I'm learning the patience through following God and following my journey with God. So all that correlates for me. So I think like enjoying this moment of like, my journey is like what's most important right now.
Wow.
Before I make it, because we're going to make it, of course. It's already written. But this journey is like, it's so like, it's just a thrill behind it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much fun. I just love it.
That was so beautiful. So beautiful. And I think that making it is a rabbit hole. Like we've made it because we here right now.
Absolutely. We
are like, we invested in our craft.
And we believe in each other.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Clock it. But I want to talk about how do you invite God in on your wins? Like,
ooh, I love that question.
Yes.
Well, God is invited at all times.
Okay.
Wins, losses, good, bad. At all times, God is present in my life. Luckily, I've been blessed. Can't even talk too much about it, but like I've met someone who like keeps God grounded so heavily in our relationship. Prayers in the morning, prayers before meals, prayers at night. Showing that gratitude for God has allowed me to keep God invited and in my life at all times. Like if I'm going to work on a project, before I came in here, I said a prayer. You know what I'm saying? When I woke up this morning, I said a prayer. That's me keeping God invited in my life 24/7. So everything feels like a win.
Yes. Even the
losses. We can call it losses. We can call it missed opportunities.
Yeah.
It feels like a win because I know, like, God, I know exactly what you're doing. This was not meant for me. You got something else.
Yeah.
You got something better. Let me be patient. Let me reflect. Let me write things down. Let me pray about it. And I know that 10 times better is coming. So I keep myself in that space consistently because it's so easy as a human to drown in sorrow, drown in sadness, in depression, when you're not where you want to be in life. And especially now in this digital age where, like, looking at people 24/7 online, comparing, judging, looking, it's like, why me, this, and the third? Like, keeping yourself grounded to understanding God has a purpose for you and it is aligned for you. That's it.
Wow.
That's it. So my wins are always wins, even if they're losses, honestly.
It was already written. It was already written. And
it was already written.
It was, and I think that the losses are really more realignment. But I know, you know this quote, it says, walk into the room like God sent you there. Like, you know, and I think that goes back to our confidence.
Yeah.
And I really want to get into like the networking aspect because, you know, we live in New York City.
Yeah.
It's a fast city. They say your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
And I'm slowly learning that more as I broaden my network. And I want to say something because I feel like people do not take advantage of their network when there's no budget present.
Oof.
You know? And and as much as like I'm about the money, I'm also about I love the money, okay?
Yeah.
But not more than my community.
Of course.
And I think that's a topic that needs to be talked more about.
Yeah.
Because knowing you, like you work in PR, right? Like, let's say I needed something, like, and we're building an actual genuine relationship, I could always reach out to you.
Absolutely.
Vice versa. And it's like, that's the real currency.
Yeah.
It's the community. People want to get paid a flat time free and then not have like a flat, long, like a longevity relationship. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I wanted to change that, like bring bartering back. Bring bartering creativity back.
Yes.
And don't pitch to people if you are not of value. Wait, cook, and then, you know, build your plate, because when it's not aligned and you don't feel like, you know, you're not going to get nothing out of it, obviously, like, that's energetic currency.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a match. But when you know that somebody is also an asset, 2 + 2 = 4. Okay? But I had to get that off my chest because I'm going through my nice day. Hey, y'all pissing me off right now, okay? So, yeah, I wanted to say that, but I want to talk about networking because I know that networking is a big thing, and they always say network. I shout out the Hood Healer because she says networking in survival mode is something that you shouldn't do. And I caught myself doing that a lot on the come up because, like, I would get into rooms with the big names, like, and not know really how to navigate that because there really wasn't no alignment there. It was just, I see you where I want to be, and kind of like I want to attach myself or see how I can help. Yeah. What advice would you give to somebody with like starting out network? How do you network, and what tips would you like wish you could have learned when you first started? That's a great question. I didn't understand what networking was. And I think people think nowadays networking is so transactional. Like, who can I talk to get this, to get that? Yeah. Not at all. Yeah. What is networking? Like, to me, because, you know, everyone can have their different... Networking to me is making genuine connections. Because I will talk to you 10,000 times, work on a project with you 10,000 times, compared to someone else who maybe has millions of dollars for a budget every time, but has a bad attitude, is like not aligned with me. I'll work with you 10,000 times, no budget, great project. We need to come out of pocket, we gonna come out of pocket. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So not thinking of everything being so transactional. Of course, know who you're talking to, meet new people. Sometimes things don't have to be transactional. They just naturally come about to be that way, which is a blessing, of course. But making those genuine connections and learning how to build acquaintances and friendships within those. Not saying that you need to text people 24/7, but I do this thing every like month or every 2 months when I have clients. Like, I send my pitches like, hey, I don't know if you're working with this person, but like, here's our lookbook.
very casual, very, not always asking for stuff. Just keeping it really calm and collected. I don't like transactional things. I don't like to feel like I need something from people 24/7.
Yes.
Like you said earlier about the survival mode thing, like it just comes off as like too greedy. Like it's just not. Build your relationships in a essential, natural way. You don't have to always need something from somebody. Make your own opportunities if you can. Like I said earlier, I was blessed to be able to be in the industry at like 17 years old, working for these big fashion houses. Naturally, I was not professional because I was 17. But being in those spaces taught me networking comes from, hi, I'm Kat. I'm working with da-da-da-da-da. And I've ended up meeting the craziest people, not knowing who they were. But I was like, oh, wow, still connected to those people this day. Just because I said, hi, I'm Kat. What do you need? Literally something so small like that is networking. People think that networking has to be like, let me get your email. So no, sometimes it's just, hi, I'm Kat. You see them again at another event. It's like, oh, what the hell?
I've seen you before.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that has happened to me so many times. I'm not going to name drop or anything like that, but there's been times where like, I see this person. I'm like, hey, I'm Kat. Like, I'm working the door. I can get you in. Like, some slight like that. And then like, okay, cool. I don't know who they are. I see them again at another event. At another event. At another event. I ended up getting jobs that way. I ended up literally just... and that one of my jobs recently, I got that way too. And it's just kind of like, it's just so crazy how you don't ever have to do too much. Naturally, understanding how patients work, understanding that networking doesn't have to be transactional. It's literally conversation and getting to know people. What do they do? And sometimes if you're in a space where you're like, I'm looking for something specific, I want to talk to these certain people. In that way, it's just finding the right approach. Because sometimes when you're too aggressive with it, it can throw people off, you know? So it's just knowing the right approach. And if you don't know how to do that, find a good mentor who's in those spaces. I'm not on LinkedIn too much anymore, but when I was on LinkedIn, I was that student. I was that person reaching out to people like, hey, I'm trying to get a sponsor or a partner for this event. Like, what is the proper way to reach out? Slight like that, building connections. Networking is literally just about upholding the right conversations with anybody, not the right people, anybody, because everybody's beneficial to everybody in ways that you don't even know. Everyone's talented and skilled, so everyone can be of asset. You might not think of it right now, but when you're working a project, oh, I know exactly who I can use for this. Literally just like that. Because that's kind of how we met too. Like, it was like, you know what I'm saying? It was just kind of like, oh yeah, you know this person I keep hearing. Literally just like that.
We got on the first call. The first time I got on a call you, I was like, oh, this girl is legit. she is it. I was like, oh, it was like she had X, Y, and Z. Y. I was doing math while we talking. I came from work. And then I just got up. After I got off, I was like, wow. Like, there were so many people that, like, I see the potential in. Not even see, the potential is there. It's not about seeing the it's here, you know? But it's like, it's a blessing that, like, to know where it makes sense. It really has to make sense. And also, too, when you're in this field and you're around certain people, you have to treat people like they're human first.
Yes, because we are human.
I know, but I think that
people forget that.
Social media allows us, this digital age, it allows us to see people on a hierarchy, you know? Celebrity culture, like...
Even influencer culture.
Oh.
They're the new celebrities,
They are the new celebrity. And how do you feel about that, influencer culture?
I think is of benefit. To an extent. I think it's amazing that people are making a living off of that. Like, I have a lot of friends who are influencers who are making it like, you know, a living and who are doing that full time. So to see people get very creative with that is amazing. I think that it has changed the course of fashion. I started in luxury fashion, right? Normally, how it goes, you start with like emerging and then you go to luxury. I started in luxury, so I was working directly with like celebrities and VIPs. So now transitioning to working with like influencers, it's like such a big transition for me. It's like, whoa. But how do I feel about it? I think it depends on the situation. I think sometimes, like, I'm saying, like, they are the new celebrities to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It has changed the course of fashion. People rely now more on, like, that influencer culture, like, rather than a celebrity, because it's more accessible.
Yeah.
We know that what the influencers or the content creators can wear is more attainable fashion and more attainable to the regular society, regular consumer, compared to if, like, Beyonce has something on, that's a custom.
Yeah.
We not getting that ever. You know what I'm saying?
Ever.
So it's like, it's more attainable. They're making things more relatable. I like to see people get creative, really test the waters. They're starting so many new trends that celebrities are not picking up on.
Yeah.
So it's good to see. I don't know how they deal with all those followers and all that stuff. It's so overwhelming. But it is amazing to see my friends thrive in that field. A couple years ago, it wasn't a career. It wasn't a thing. So now it's like we seeing them at runway shows, front row too.
Yeah.
We're seeing them at showrooms. We're seeing them like do all these amazing things. It's like, it's more attainable.
Yeah.
It's making dreams more attainable. And I think like that is what we should focus on more so than like the hierarchy. I like to look at it as like, you now can be in these rooms with these people. So think of it as more of like an attainable career and something that you can do with consistency, rather than looking at it as like, oh, these people are like celebrity level, or these people are like better than me. Like, it's an attainable career.
Yes.
And they're making a living off of it. So can you. I think it's a good culture. I think some people are too big-headed.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it.
Yeah. Shit.
Relax.
So am I.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Because let's
be real.
Let's calm down. But I like, you know, I'm not an influencer, so I don't know what it's really like putting in that work. But because I'm on a podcast and I get to talk to them all the time, I can see how difficult it is to balance that life.
It's so crazy because people will look like the coolest person online, like, and then in person they have horrible energy.
Oof, and I'm God knows. There's times where I'm like, oh
yeah,
I'm never coming around you again.
Like, I don't care how many pieces you got, how much
followers. I don't care.
It's like, it really falls back. It's like, are you a good person? Like, you could legit see the demons.
You know what's so crazy too? Working PR, working these creative projects.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a lot of followers. I'm not an influencer. None of that. Regular old girl, right?
No, not regular.
Not regular, but...
Not regular. Not at all.
All right. But you know, like, I'm not at that, like, level or whatever you want to call it. But a lot of the times, these people have to get through me to get into these events because I do PR.
Hello.
So it's, like, crazy to see that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the numbers on social media matter to a certain extent. Because, like... Man, because it's just like, you know, it's like, it matters to a certain extent. Because if I'm at the door and like, I really don't like your energy, and I'm working this event, like,
you're not getting in.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a mean person. Like, I feel like everybody who's met me, like, I don't think I'm mean, but like, it really goes to show like numbers matter to a certain extent. But I do applaud everyone putting in that work to build these monumental numbers, because it's not easy either.
Yeah.
But like, protect your energy, and also like, don't let these energies these numbers like gas your head.
Yes.
Like, you know, like, let's remain humble still to the end of the day. Like, we're all human beings. We're all people.
Yes.
But people do get gassed, and sometimes like people need to humble them. And if I'm at the door and you need to get humbled, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
I think that it's really falls back to ego, and I don't think enough people. Oh no, actually, I'm seeing a shift in the world. I think a lot of people are inviting God into their blessings and their losses and their realignments.
That's what it looks like online. But sometimes I meet people and I'm like,
you don't think?
Like, I just feel like, no, I've been in so many rooms. Like, people will post a Bible quote, a Bible verse, make it look so aesthetic, do too much, and then are living a life that I'm like, oh, I thought.
Yeah, da-da-da-da-da.
But I don't comment on it. I don't say nothing because I'm also a sinner. We're all sinners. And I understand. But I I don't like to follow false prophets. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like to live in an illusion of like, you know, me thinking that you're also biblically sound and that we're on the same radar as like God and this, but your behavior in different. Person, off camera, is wicked.
Yeah.
I'm cool. We good.
We good,
but I'm cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it really is like you have to just protect your energy, which is why my circle in real life is so small.
Swear.
I might know a lot of people, have a lot of friends and acquaintances. My everyday people, I can count it on my hand.
Swear.
It's way too small. The people who I talk to every day, I have literally like one person who I talk to every single day. Yeah. Never miss. And then I have like my best friends who I talk to not every single day. Yeah. But I talk to them every day or every other day. Yeah. Like, I can count that on my hand because it's so important to protect your energy. Keep that circle small and tight because anything can throw you off.
Literally.
Anything.
Oh my God.
Professionally, personally, anything could throw you off. Protect your energy.
And it's so crazy that you say that because I wanted to talk about influencers, but I think I'm gonna double back to that because protecting your energy is so real, especially when people see you. Yeah. Sometimes you don't even see you. Like when you are bound to do big things, people it's in you, you know? People are gonna see that. And you have to be so discerning of who you let get into your ear. Yeah. And they say, I believe I'm protected. I don't, people could say anything. Sometimes I even be showing people my projects beforehand. I don't think you should really do that all the time. No. But you shouldn't. But I just feel like I'm so protected that nothing.
You're so pure.
Yeah.
No ill intent behind. But you have to understand that like we do live in a world where the devil is here. Yeah. And, you know, I rebuke that for all of us. But like, it exists. That bad energy does exist. Sometimes people will have animosity towards you, you know. In Proverbs, God says to protect your heart first. Yeah. So once you protecting your heart on your own and allowing God to sit within your heart, even the people with malicious intent, even with the bad news, even with the secret animosity, the secret hate, even all that stuff is naturally going to fade away from you. Yeah. Because you have God. You know?
That's so real. That's so real. And I think that, you know, I've given those people grace too because I've once been in a very dark space.
Of course.
Mentally. And like, it wasn't I didn't even subconsciously know I was there. Yeah. And I think that we kind of, it's taboo. The jealousy is taboo. The shame is taboo.
Like for what?
The ego's taboo. No. I mean, like, I don't resonate with those energies. But when I do see them, I give them grace because they're literally just searching for, like, they're just stuck in that box, you know?
And I've been there. Yeah. I'm not even gonna front. Like, there was times before in the past, I used to be like, you can call it jealousy, whatever, but I used to be bitter about certain things like, damn, this person is thriving. Yeah. This and that. And it's put me in such a negative, nasty space. Yeah. Family have told me like, yo, you're nasty. Like, I was in dark places. Yeah. Like, even when I was in previous relationships, like they used like, you're so negative. Like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, bro, I don't even know for real. Like, I'm just tight. Like, I don't know. Yeah. And then I realized what you gotta reflect. You have to. And you know, like, I am being this. I am being that. And as me understanding how I was, it goes back to like, now I can give those people grace because I get it best. Yeah. But you also have to remember, like, something I do is like, what didn't I get while I was in that season? Like, people were just telling me like, oh, you're being negative, you're being this, but nobody was checking me to a point where it was like, let me help you get out of there. Yeah. Like, if I love and care for you, let me help you get out of there. Yes. Nobody did that for me. Yes. So, you know, I have can't even say who it is because she might get tight. No. But I love her to death. But like she's in a season where like she has terrible people around her. Like she don't know what to do with her life. I literally was like, you and me gonna sit down. We gonna write down your goals, your aspirations. What do you want? out of life, everything, and we're gonna make a plan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that for you, and then you got to do the rest, and you got to trust in God.
Yeah.
We did that, and like now she's not in like the perfect place because there's no such thing, but she's in such a different place than she was before, and that's all because I just had grace for her. She would get me tight, piss me off. I did not want to be around her.
Yeah.
But I know how that felt.
Yeah.
Being in her shoes.
Yeah.
So that comes with giving those people grace. So when you said that, I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
No, it's so real because it's like even though I'm operating on such a high frequency, there are certain moments when I still experience those emotions.
Yeah.
And it's not like a malicious intent.
You're
it's just
human.
You know? And so I think that we need to like invite our darkness in so that it can transform into light. And I think that the self-accountability was key because that's what happened to me. I realized that I was in a, because when you're in that dark space, you don't really realize it because you don't see yourself.
Of course not. You're blinded. You're oblivious.
You're blinded by the lights. You know, and I felt like I had to take off those blindfolds. I had to do the picture. It was really like Get Out. And you just snap out of it when you realize that like, this is not what I want. When you want better for yourself, like you could be in a bad space, but if you want better for yourself, I can give you that grace.
Yeah.
You know, I even give you grace when you don't want better for yourself, but it's like, it's not
you
personal.
You can't want it more than the person. Like you have to want it for yourself so much that other people believe in you.
Yeah.
Like people only, if you are literally not believing in yourself, how can you expect for others to believe in you? It's kind of like, you can't blame people for like not believing in you. You set the expectations for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And our cutoffs aren't personal. They're just spiritual. That's what it really is.
That's what it is. But people don't understand that. People take everything super personal. I get it because I've been in those spaces.
I still do a little bit. But
yeah.
I'm like.
That's okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's okay. It is. But like, I mean, for me now it's like, if you're not aligning spiritually first, it's going to be hard for me to disregard anything else. Like, you know, because I'm always think back, like what would God expect of me? What would God want me to do? I make a lot of mistakes still. I still am on my path. You're never solidified on your path with God. Like you're always on this journey, which is what makes it so beautiful. And even as now I'm like doing my Bible studies. I do a Bible study every week.
Wow.
Right now I'm reading Ecclesiastes, and like it literally talks in there about like our word mean nothing. Stop making false promises to God. Like all these things, like it shapes you to remember like what would God expect of you?
Wow.
So being in that space allows me to be biblically sound, and like everything goes back to spiritual for me. So it's like it wasn't like that 3 weeks ago though. It just got like that now. So like always remembering that and like putting in that effort strengthens that for you.
Ooh.
Everything else will align. I'm telling you, like everything else will align.
Yeah.
I'll give you a funny story.
Talk to me.
I was supposed to go to Paris. I went to Paris, right?
You did.
I did.
You did.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Yeah, bonjour.
Oh,
yeah.
You went to,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I wasn't my boss, I love him to death. He knows I do.
Okay.
But it was like a back and forth. He was like, yes, you're going. No, you're going. Yes, you're going. No, you're going. There was one point I was like, you're not finna play with my emotions. Am I going or not? He was like, you're going. 2 hours later, he was like, nah, like you're not gonna go. I was like, all right, no problem. I went about my day. I said a calm prayer like, God, if I'm actually, I swear, my friend Tiff, you know, Tiffany, she can vouch. She can vouch. I was literally like, you know what, if it's not meant for me to be like, it's okay. I said a prayer by myself. I was like, God, you know, if you want me to be in Paris for whatever reason, you gonna bring me to Paris. I swear God is real. 3 hours later, my boss texted me and Tiffany in a chat because she was working with me on the project at the time. He was like, send me your information. I'm booking your flights and hotel tonight.
Wow.
I was really like, all because I trusted in God and I wasn't impatient. I didn't get angry. I literally, although he told me no, I went to work at the office, still worked on a project for Paris.
Wow.
For him to do. And me and Tiffany not even there.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I trusted in that. And like, God bless God bless my boss as well for giving me that opportunity.
Yeah.
But literally, like, just from trusting in God and just from like trusting in that plan and not being impatient, it just happened.
Wow.
So since that day, I've been more biblically sound, and like I was like, whoa, this is what comes with being patient and trusting in God. Sign me up. Say less. Literally.
No, it's like I love it on this side. I love it on this side. When things just naturally align, I think that's when you're really you're operating in an energy of just gratitude.
Yeah.
When you operate in that gratitude, guys, take if you could scroll on your phone. If the phone is the first thing you pick up, you idolizing the phone, you know? But the first thing I feel like really needs to be happening is just like thanking for even waking up. Like, I have another day to book a podcast room. You know, like, even in that, like, I am so grateful.
Yes.
And that is so beautiful.
Yes. Something that just sparked for me too, that maybe it'll click for, you know,
somebody,
all the beautiful people watching. But like, I have an amazing friend, Sully. He's like my brother. We fight like every other day, like literally like siblings. But he is literally, if he's not a pastor in disguise, I don't know what.
Yeah.
But he be hosting Bible studies. I always go to them. And he one time said, which stuck with me. He was like, because you mentioned the phones and idolizing the phones. He was like, it's crazy how we can talk to our friends on our phones for 10 minutes, but we can't talk to God about what we want for 10 minutes. Yeah. And I was like, you're right. I don't give God 10 minutes of my prayers.
Yeah.
I wake up and I say like a good 1 minute prayer and I go by my, like literally.
I be rushing the prayer when I'm hungry too. I gotta
and that's greed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not I'm sorry. That was kind of crazy.
I'm kidding.
Yo, bro, please no.
I'm kidding.
But it's greed. And I do that. I've done that. Like, I've literally sat there and been like, thank you God for this. And it's kind of like, yo, like,
I was like, amen.
Yo, I was like, I'm greedy. I don't give God 10 minutes. That's kind of crazy. And mind you, God is just listening.
Yeah. Wow.
To us. To what do you want? God is telling, oh, you want this? All right, let me see what I can do. You think you're going to get this? I got 10 times better for you.
Yeah.
All of you just sit and tell God what you want. Before I send out a project, I talk to God about it.
Wow.
Before I do anything, because it's like, he's listening. He's never going to let me down. He's always going to be there for me. So it's like, why not count and depend on him? You know what I'm saying? So he told me that. He was like, devote 10 minutes to God. Like, can you sit there and talk to God for 10 minutes? I challenged myself that whole week. I was on jogs, talking to God 10 minutes, literally setting a timer on my phone. There's so many things you can talk about. You can't tell me you can sit on the phone with your bestie and gossip, which is a sin too, for 10 minutes, but you can't tell God, I want health. I want this. It's kind of crazy. So ever since he told me that, I was like, yeah, let me stop idolizing this phone and let me prioritize my talk with God. Yeah.
Fire. You know what also helps me too? I do voice notes.
Ooh.
So I do.
Never tried that.
Yeah, because it's so cool because it captures the moment you are in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you hear where you're going. Like when you're at your lows, and you'll like look back. Actually, my friend Chanel, she told me to do that. So
I love that. Yes. Something I'll be doing, which is weird, is probably TMI, but like I was going through a really, really bad breakup and I was recording myself when I started to cry. Which is kind of like OD. I will never post it.
No.
Anything. But like, I'm in such a healed place right now. I was watching the videos the other day. I was like, who is that?
Wow.
Like, yo, I was like, wow. And in the videos, I was crying and I was like, God, please take me out of this. Literally one video, I was like, God, please take me out of this. I don't even know what to say, God. Just listen to my heart.
Wow.
Literally word for word what I said in the video. And I look at it now and I'm like, yo, I don't even know who that was.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like the voice notes. I do videos. I'm just dramatic.
Yeah.
It's for the plot.
No,
I'm just dramatic.
No, it is for the plot. And I know that there's probably some girl like going through a really bad breakup right now. What would you like? What was the pivotal moment for you that like got you to shifted the mindset?
Well, the breakup that I went through was so traumatic that I didn't even process it correctly because I was disobedient to God. And I also learned that through my friend Sully. He clocked me. He was like, you were so disobedient to God, God allowed you to get hurt.
Wow.
And I was like, you're right. But
you was greedy.
Yeah, like I was so disobedient. God literally told me, get out of that space. And I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm so comfortable with mistreatment. I didn't realize it. I stood and like God was like, you're so disobedient. Bet. I got done so dirty. Like, beyond me, that I was like, oh, okay, God, I heard you now loud and clear. Let me get out of this. And I did it. Wow. Even then. And then it happened to me again. And I was like, oh yeah.
Wow.
Do I like it was just so bad that God was like, get out of this now.
Yeah.
Or watch. Literally. So in that time, everyone heals differently. Everyone struggles differently. It's hard to tell people like, this is what you should do when you're hurting. No. I let myself cry. I recorded myself. I did.
And did.
I let myself cry. My friends, God bless them, stood on the phone with me. My cousin was sleeping over my house. I counted on the people around me. So make sure that you're documenting everything that you feel because it's important to acknowledge your feelings. Yeah, let it out privately so you can sit with yourself. Rely on those around you. Don't think you're exhausting people around you. People who love you and care for you and understand, space for you. They're going to be there. They're going to make that space. And another thing I did that I didn't realize would help me was traveling.
Wow.
I have not stopped traveling since
the
breakup. Like literally I just came back from a trip last week. Like I've been traveling so much because it heals you going into a new space.
Yeah.
And just like sitting in air, no phone service. Like you can get Wi-Fi if you want, but no service in the air, with yourself, traveling to other places. It like allows you to meet new people. That healed me so quickly. Wow. It was just like, honestly, which is why I'm so comfortable speaking about it now. It's like, I feel like a new person. So I would recommend to travel if you can. Nobody wants to do anything when they're sad. You want to soak in your feelings. I get that. But it's like you're digging a deeper hole for yourself. It's better to like force yourself to get up and go do something. And I hated hearing that. I used to be like, bro, I'm tight. I'm sad. Leave me alone. But luckily I got to travel literally so early on. And it was all through work, which is why I always thank God for my blessings with work, because I was traveling for work every time. It healed me. And I got to meet amazing people like through it.
Wow. It's like you break up with a nigga and then you get sent to Paris.
Listen.
Pay for it all.
Mind you, it wasn't even in Paris. Ooh, the first trip that I took after my breakup was to Miami with Tiff.
Oh,
that's my girl.
Miami.
But it wasn't, I know Miami sounds crazy, but I went for Art Basel and I was there and I was working and I was just like, I literally sat there one day on the beach and I was like, I'm actually blessed.
Yes.
I was like, I'm actually blessed and I didn't even know it.
There's so much more to life. And I think sometimes you're not even like in love with the person for real. You may be, but like you're more in love with how you feel when you're with that person.
You know, I think like it was this other thing. Yeah, like I was trying to romanticize it so bad because I was so comfortable
with the person.
And I was so comfortable with the type of like, I wouldn't say like toxic or anything, but I was comfortable with the type of toxic that it was. I was scared to leave. Like, what if I find something more toxic? I don't think I can handle that. So I'm going to stay with this.
Wow.
You know, and that's crazy to say, but that's real.
That's real.
And it comes down to like sometimes people in abusive relationships, that's why it's so hard to leave because like, you know what you can take. I can take this type of toxic. So I'm going to stay here because I don't know what's out there.
Wow.
But it's like, yeah, you don't know what's out there. Exactly, girl. Duh. So once I sat down, like, I'm not gonna hard launch nothing right now. But
no, you think we gotta wait for that?
I mean, I'm so hot here. Oh my God. No, but like, I didn't realize like
what you could get.
I didn't realize what God had for me.
Yeah.
And like, you know, God has something to say. That's a little hard line. If you know, you know. I don't know. Not too much. Oh my gosh.
Listen. What's understood don't gotta be said.
They gonna watch this and be like, "Woo."
Yeah. As they should, because you happy where you are and you're glowing.
Extremely,
you're glowing internally, and I love that because
thank you.
Sometimes it is very true. You don't think that you're going to get better. Mm-hmm. That's really what it is. Like, you feel like you deserve that type of treatment.
Yeah.
And it comes to like reprogramming who you are. Like, reprogramming that self-thought. Like, no, like, there is better for me. And, letting go is a beautiful process. I speak about it all the time.
Let go, let God. Literally got that tatted on me because I wouldn't know it. I wouldn't know it if I didn't believe it.
Come on now.
But letting go is the hardest part.
It is. It really is. It's so much easier than said. But we are wrapping up on time. And I got to bring you up part 2. I want to ask you one last question because I know you have been with the influencers down. And remember I told you I have to come back. Mm-hmm. How does one influencer remain integrity with brand partnerships? Because of how much the money comes. Mm-hmm. The money comes bigger and you want to work with this person. And I know that there's some content creators out there that wants to remain authentic. Yeah. But they don't know how to when the money needs to be. You know? So like I think you're the perfect person to act.
I think number 1, I understand bills got to get paid. Yeah. So sometimes people are just going to take things just for the money. Mm-hmm. And I think it depends on your attention. Mm-hmm. If you're passionate about your content, you're going to be intentional about what you do. Mm-hmm. Number 1. You're not just going to take any deal and do anything for whatever. You're going to really sit and think like, how is this going to benefit my portfolio? What kind of image do I want to put out there? There's people who discredit certain types of creators that do certain partnerships and certain deals, but it's like they're really creative with the type of content that they do. They're very intentional. They think about it. They sit there and edit for hours. So let's just give them their props. You know what I'm saying? But it's really just about the intention. You have to think about your portfolio. What kind of portfolio do I want? What kind of brands do I want to work with in the future? And how is me working with this brand gonna lead me closer to that? Yeah, they can be offering you $25,000, but the brand is also promoting X, Y, and Z that does not align with you. Yeah. So think about that wisely. And I'll be very quick. I was working with a client and we got a deal with like OnlyFans. They wanted to sponsor. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, we're not doing that only because of the type of image that, OF has that. Shout out to them. They're doing great. Everybody on there making money. That's fine. But it doesn't align with what the brand is. We have to remember we do have morals at the end of the day, integrity that we have to follow and stuff that we want to uphold ourselves with. So think about your intent behind doing everything. And it's like, how is this going to benefit my portfolio? And if you have to think too much about something, you probably shouldn't do it.
Ooh. And that's how the cookie crumbled. Like it.
What Nikki said?
Yeah. You ever watch Bruce Almighty?
Sorry, I have a cold, y'all.
Ginger shots. But you ever watch Bruce Almighty where he was doing the news report and he was like, and that's how the cookie crumbled.
Oh my gosh, yes. Who was Steve Carell in that?
I don't know the names. I get so mixed up, but he's one of my favorite.
Steve Carell. That was with Morgan Freeman was in it, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But that man reminds me of God. Okay. No, really though. Every movie.
Because why he look the same every movie, bro? Like he does not age. I gotta meet Morgan Freeman one day. I feel like
I want him to. I don't know. I just want to hear his voice in real life, and it got to be.
It's probably so soothing. He probably got some good messages for us.
Yes,
Morgan Freeman, hit me up.
Yes, please. Free the morgues.
Yes.
And thank you so much for being on this podcast. Shout out your podcast and everything that you're doing. No, I want you to shout it out.
You know me. I'm so humble.
Like,
yes. Podcast is Talks with Kat. My Instagram is Guzbus, GUZBUSS. That's really where you can find me. Stay tuned because I'll be doing mad random stuff, mad random side quests. And stay tuned because we're going to do a swapperoo. Ooh, I just leaked it.
Yeah, and it needed to be leaked.
It needed to be said. It needed to be said.
I'm so grateful for you. I have so much. I feel
God bless you. God bless the space. Yes.
We had the Florida one in the building. You saying you prayed before this? I was like, yo, we're so aligned because I was gonna ask you to do, but we were running a lot.
Of course, I prayed before. I was like, not only to bless like our conversation, just you in general, your business, everything you're doing. I know what it's like behind the scenes.
Yeah, I'm already knowing.
So I'm here as a full supporter, but also God bless your business and God bless this 10,000 times. God is here. He will always be here.
I love you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Please tune in. We are going to be more consistent. We got bangers after bangers after bangers. No Austin Mahone. Oh. But yeah, you know that song? Banger, banger, banger. But yes, stay tuned and stay blessed. Thank you for watching. Yeah.